Okay, I guess we are live on the YouTube channel here, and the image quality seems to be way better than the other attempt that I did. Thank you so much for joining, guys. The great A7iii. Let's see how that one goes. I think I figured out a couple things here. I was not utilizing OBS in the right way. So yeah, very excited. We'll give it a couple seconds. We have two people now in the chat room, so I'm just gonna say hi, starting the chat soon. And I'm also trying a couple new features on YouTube, so that's why I was a bit all over the place, trying to use the new streaming interface, and I will say you that it's not working very well. So we'll stick with the old Stream Now dashboard. Okay, so 4 people now are watching. This is pretty cool. The stream health is going fine. And if you can hear me, can you give me a thumbs up or a little, notification in the chat box? That will help me continue. You pronounce perfectly. Okay, looks good, sounds good. Okay, so there's a couple of us in the live stream. So I've been shooting a camera that I fell in love with, and if it wasn't so expensive, I think I would already own it. But right now, I am shooting the Fujifilm GFX 50R. I really like this camera. So Fujifilm Canada was kind enough to send it to me so I could test it out. It will have to go back, unfortunately, to Fujifilm very shortly. But that was my first time shooting medium format, and I literally fell in love with a couple things. The first one being, and I see that the image just cut, so let's see what's happening there. I think it's the Fujifilm X-T3 that just went, yeah, it went on sleep. So now I know that I need to change that in the camera. I need to find where's the sleep function and turn that off. So if you see the screen going dark, you know why. I'm trying to manage the X-T3 as my vlogging or as my streaming camera. So yeah, so this is and yet the great Vanzini. This is a dream camera. Gotta buy those lotto tickets. Yeah, you're right. But a couple of things that I really like about this camera. The first one is the form factor. I mean, they've been able to fit a medium format sensor, a 50 megapixel medium format sensor within a rangefinder style camera. I mean, it reminds me a lot of the X Pro 2 that I owned a couple years ago. I really like the form factor because you can put it here to your face, it'll breathe. You don't have your face all crammed up into the screen here in the back screen. So really like the form factor. I've got pretty big hands, and I can definitely say that the grip is very cool. The grip is better than I thought when I saw the first images of the Fujifilm GFX 50R. I've been able to shoot outside with this camera, to put it in my bag and to pull it out for some shoot in the rain, some shoot in the snow, because yes, there's still snow in Canada, and I've been shooting it for the past month. So as you can imagine, it's been cold, it's been raining, snowing, and so on, and this camera has held up because it's weather resistant, and it's also a camera that will function at minus, I was at minus 15 the other day, and I shot with it for a couple hours. The other thing that you will appreciate about this camera is the fact that it has a massive battery, and to power that sensor, and to power also that screen and all the technology that's in it, it's a good thing that we have a big battery like that. I actually wish that Fujifilm would find a way to implement this technology or this battery technology within the other cameras. I know it's a bigger battery, but I'm pretty sure they can find a clever way to, I mean, if Sony did it, Sony has a big battery in their Fujifilm, and their Sony A7 III, which I also happen to own. So pretty sure Fujifilm could use those battery. These are the NPT 125 and put it into our XT, maybe X-T4 or XH2. I think that would be a nice addition. So the other thing that I really like about the Fujifilm GFX 50R is the fact that it's the button layout is really well designed. So if you look here, you have all the buttons that you can control with one hand, basically. So you can use your right hand and you can hit the menu button, you can hit the playback, the display back, you can also hit those two buttons that you can assign to whatever you want. So that is a very nice, you know, well thought design from Fujifilm. Again, it reminds me of the X Pro 2, so you can operate the camera with only one hand and you're good to go. The other hand is, of course, doing, you know, either focus or playing with the aperture ring. The lens also, the lens feels very good, very sturdy, and this is a 45 millimeter that I've been rocking. This is the lens that Fujifilm sent me, and on a full frame, 45 millimeter is actually wider, of course, than the 45 on a full frame or even on an APS-C. So look at the size of the sensor. This is a very big 50 megapixel sensor. Gotta love the look of it. But all that to say that the 45 gave me a nice range when it came to portraits and even landscape. I will put a lot of these photos will be on my Instagram if you want to see them at Fred Ranger, and you will see what I'm talking about when I talk about the depth of field, the quality of the image, and so on and so forth. So if you are interested in learning more about this camera, I'll be popping a review very shortly. I'm still working on it. I want to identify, you know, some of the top features that some people might be interested in, and highlight that through the video. I also want to do some B-roll. So we took some videos while we were out shooting with this camera. So I will be happy to, you know, put a little video for you guys so you can see it closer, see it in action, and also, you know, have a feel for it. This is an expensive camera. That's the downside about this camera. I mean, it is a medium format camera, so what can you expect? Most of the medium format cameras are actually way higher than that when it comes to the price point. There's some, you know, phase one that are like $50,000, $60,000 for a camera. So this is a $6,000, you know, plus-ish camera. So it is kind of quote unquote affordable medium format. I know it's not $6,000, not necessarily affordable. And yeah, so the great Vanzini said that maybe winning the Lotto ticket would help, and I agree with that. And he also said that it's a big X-E3. Yeah, it reminds me of any rangefinder Fujifilm camera. Even the little sister, the Fujifilm X100F. If you put it side by side, I mean, this is how medium format looks side by side with the Fujifilm 100F. So it is, you know, way bigger, but the feel, the soul, the feel of the camera is pretty similar. Another thing that I really like about this camera is the dials. So the dials feel really sturdy. This is your compensation dial. This is your shutter speed dial. One thing that I don't really like is the positioning, though, of this top dial. You can assign it to whatever you want. I ended up deactivating it. It is actually surrounding or around the shutter button. So every time I would actually like click on the shutter button, I would sometime you know, mess with the setting that was attributed to that button. So I don't really like that placement. So maybe in a version 2 of GFX 50RS or 50R2 or whatever they call it, maybe they can find a better place for that top wheel. The other very nice thing about this camera is the tilting screen. So you have a medium format in your hand that produces superb image quality, 50 megapixel, and you can actually use, you know, low angle shots with your screen like that. You can aim it like that and do some higher level shots. So for me, again, they've been able to implement a lot of the learnings from the X Pro 2, which didn't have any flip screen. and from the X-T2 and the X-T3 and the X-E3, and they've put it into a camera that is a top of the line medium format camera. So for me, it's a sign that Fujifilm is really listening and also innovating. And yeah, that's it. I wanted to share my a couple thoughts around this beautiful camera. There will be a full review coming up on this channel. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And if you want to know when that video will be dropping, please hit that bell notification so you'll receive a little push notification as soon as this review is up on the channel. If you have any questions, thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's a late stream, and I got a late start because my camera stuff was not working. So sometimes, you know, there's days like that where technology is not helping, and tonight was definitely a night where, you know, the live stream was a bit late because of that. So if you have any questions, please ask them down below. I've been Fred Ranger, and you know what? Be happy, enjoy life, and enjoy your gear. Cheers. Oh, and wait, what camera do you find are you using the most these days? The camera that I'm using the most these days is this camera that I just talked about, the GFX 50R. A couple reasons. The first one is that I had it on loan, or I have it on loan from Fujifilm since, I would say, a month, I think. I think it's a little bit more than a month. And like I said, I'm totally in love with this camera, so I shot the hell out of it. But also, you should know that I will never go anywhere without this little Fujifilm X100F, and that one I actually have in my daily bag when I go to the office, when I come back. So I'm always ready to shoot with a Fujifilm camera on me. And for video, the actual Sony A7 III made a comeback because I thought I had the perfect camera in the Fujifilm X-H1 for both video and photo. And to answer your question, John Burrows, I thought I had it. You know, I thought I only had one camera to carry around, and I would say that the Fujifilm X-H1 wasn't there in terms of video, at least for me. It was not giving me the image quality I was looking for. The way the exposure compensation was working, the auto, you know, ISO was like by increments, and it was giving me like a lot of perceivable changes when it was going from a bright location or to a lower light location. So so I ended up selling the X-H1 and bringing the Sony A7 III back into the lineup to produce my videos. And if you look at my channel, the latest one that I posted, you will see in the cinematic section, you will see that this was filmed with the Sony A7 III. So for video needs, it's still on Sony. I hope that Fuji X-H2 one day will be the ultimate camera to do video with, because I have a shitload of lenses where I could use it on my Fujifilm's cameras, and I would love to have only one system. So for photos, it's been this guy and also this guy, and for video, it's been the Sony A7 III. So I hope that answers the question, John. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And it's been 15 minutes. I mean, that was just a little check-in. I haven't posted a video in a long time, so I wanted to make sure that I do update you on what I'm shooting with right now, and to let you know that there's plenty of reviews coming. I have some filters here that I want to talk about, because I got the Osmo Pocket, and we've got Polar Pro, who was kind enough to work with me on giving away one of these two little sets of filters for your Osmo Pocket. If you have one, please make sure to drop me a note, because I will make a little contest and have them sent to you if you are the winner. So there's a Fujifilm GFX 50R full review coming up, a Polar Pro filters review, and also an Osmo Pocket review, because I've been having fun with this little video camera that I bought recently. So is there any other questions in the comments? I'm looking here. Okay, I heard they, yeah, discontinued the XH1. I read that on Twitter. I think it might be true. I think it might actually make sense because it was, I think, a camera that was rushed to market. I don't get me wrong. I love the fact that it was image stabilized within this the sensor was image stabilized, and it was a great the format was the form factor was great, but the video quality wasn't that great. The video quality from the X-T3 is actually way better. So if they find a way to put all the good stuff from a video standpoint that the X-T3 is giving us, plus having the in-body image stabilization, I think they have a winner. And they need to fix the way the lenses are rendering the exposure, or going from one increment to the other without having it noticeable on the on screen. So there you go, guys. I will end the actual discussion tonight, and ask you to join me again for other live streams, and also hit that like I said, hit that bell notification so you know when I drop my review of this beast of a camera and all the other stuff that I need to review in the next few days and weeks. So I've been Fred Ranger. This time is true. Enjoy life, be happy, and enjoy your gear. Cheers.